Number 6, tying in a restricted space. Okay, consider this. You are in a very deep hole in the pelvis or high under the diaphragm, and you need to secure a bleeder on a long clamp. How are you going to get your hands down there? To practice this, we have supplied a restrictive cylinder that happens to fit perfectly on one of the circles drawn around the hook. Can you tie a knot deep in the cylinder without moving it? You actually have two dilemmas. The first is how the heck to get the suture around the clamp in the deep hole, and the second is how to tie the knot. In inaccessible deep areas, it is nearly impossible to get your finger to drag the suture around the clamp or the hook. Your finger is just not long enough. To get around this, we use a clamp attached to the end of the suture to act as an extension of your finger. Note how the suture is brought out directly from the clamp. This allows the most flexibility for bringing the suture around the clamp holding the tissues, or in this case a hook. We will remove the cylinder for demonstration. With the clamp attached to the end of the suture and your passive hand holding well towards the other end, pass the clamp straight down and around the hook. Without putting too much tension on the suture, pull the end up so there is sufficient length to tie with. With the restrictive cylinder in place, we can see that this is done making sure that both ends are brought relatively straight out of the area of interest. Tying knots is no different than what we've already learned, except they are tied at a distance. Each throw is brought down and secured with the index finger of the active hand. We can first show this with the cylinder removed. First, pass the sutures, cross the strands, and create the first throw of a two-handed knot away from the hook. Using the index finger of the active hand, slip the knot down on the hook. To firmly secure the throw, place your index finger slightly beyond the hook to create a straight line in the suture for even application of tension. Complete the next throw with a slip knot or a square knot. If a slip knot is used, secure it with an additional square knot. Now let's make a knot with the cylinder in place. Place your strand around the hook, utilizing the clamp. Cross your strands and create the first throw of a two-handed knot. Use your index finger in a straight line downward to secure the throw, and repeat with subsequent throws in the same fashion. For a one-handed knot, the procedure is the same. Place the strand around the hook, cross the strands, and do alternating one-handed throws, again securing each throw with your index finger pointing past the hook. We should practice this multiple times in order to gain competency without moving the cylinder.